The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions, past, present, and or future. In the battle for the American League West, the California Angels still remain on top, but bubbling just under the surface of what could be going on in Anaheim sits the Chicago White Sox and Kansas City Chiefs. And last night, in the second game of their set, at Royal Stadium, the White Sox pulled off a big one. They won in 11, 6-3. Bill Allman got it started in the fifth. He had an RBI triple to score Jim Morrison to make it 1-0, but Kansas City thought they were going to win. In the seventh, Willie Aiken scored with a single, scored two to make it 2-1 Royals, and then Jerry Martin doubled him home. However, in the eighth, Steve Kemp's two-run homer tied the game for the White Sox at 3, and it stayed that way until the 11th inning. Carlton Fisk doubled home the winning run, and Greg Luzinski to make it 4-3. Bill Allman doubled home two insurance runs to give the White Sox a 6-3 win. Then go to 27 and 23 games behind the California Angels, while the Royals are 4 back. Tonight, these two teams play again. As I lose my mouse. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Baseball Prime Time Replay. The Chicago White Sox and the Kansas City Royals from Royal Stadium in Independence, Missouri. And it's Steve Trout pitching for the White Sox, and Dave Frost. I didn't realize he pitched for the Royals, but that's who we got.
Play ball!
This evening, and hi there, I'm Ron Juckett. Welcome to the broadcast. We're starting just a couple minutes early so we can try to get out of here by 8 o'clock because our friend Sports Time Machine is doing a wrestling card from his lair in Utah, and so he wants to start at 8, so we'll go a couple minutes early with the hopes that we can finish by the top of the hour. If you were with us yesterday afternoon, you noticed it did finally rain in Southern California, and in the immortal words of Albert Hammond, it doesn't rain in Southern California, but when it does, man, it pours. And yep, we had ourselves a 7-inning shortened game. So by the time but this game that you're about to see between the White Sox and the Royals would have been played before that. And guess what it's doing in Kansas City? Yep, it's raining. It's a light rain. It's 85 degrees and the wind is blowing out to right field. So the White Sox come into this 3 games behind California, and the Royals are 4 back. It's a big game for both teams. But as you know, the Angels have already won on this Wednesday, June 2nd. So right now, it's just hanging on there. So let's get to it. It's time for baseball. And as you take a look at the field, it kind of is, we say hello to Combat Painter. How are you? The only one watching right now. We say hello, and you can see where the field is actually wet from the light rain. Dave Frost is on the hill for the Royals, and boy, that is not a good choice. He is 2-2 on the year with a 3.93 ERA. This is his 8th start of the year, his last one coming on May 28th against the Texas Rangers, where he was hammered. And the Rangers, by the way, are a last place team. 5 innings, 11 hits, 6 runs all earned. He walked none and struck out 3. So while the numbers don't look too bad now, you can see his real numbers, 6-6 with a 5.51 ERA. That is atrocious. He's allowed 3 homers, he's walked 16 and struck out 15, and that absolute pounding the Rangers gave him jumped his ERA from 3.18 to 3.93. And this is a lineup that he'll be facing. Ron LaFleur will lead off for the White Sox to play center field. Tony Bernazar will bat second, play second. Steve Kemp, the left fielder, will hit third. Greg Luzinski, the Bull, is your DH. He cleans up. Tom Paciorek will play first and bat fifth. Harold Raines will bat sixth and hit and play in right field. Mark Hill catching, not Carlton Fisk. He'll hit seventh. Jim Morrison, get your Doors jokes in now, will play third and bat eighth. And I believe that is Vance Law with the shortstop at bat ninth, and Steve Trout is on the hill for the White Sox. For the Royals defensively, Willie Wilson is in the left. But you don't remember that happening too much, but okay, he's an 8, but his arm is turned into a ramen noodle. It's a 2. Amos Otis is in center, 7 and 5, and Jerry Martin is an 8 and 5 at, oh, are you looking at me at all? Nope. You know, it helps to actually, see the field. George Brett is a 6 at third. Onyx Concepcion is a 7 at short. Frank White, the great fielder, is a 10 at second. And I was looking up to see what Lee May is at first base in his block. And John Wathan, the speedster behind the plate, is at 7 and 7. And for the person that just joined us, you really didn't miss me just staring at the top of my bald head for 5 minutes while going through the lineups. Wonderful stuff, Ron. Off like a herd of thunder and turtles. And here's Ronnie LaFleur, Ron at 246, 3 homers and 14 RBI. So it's a hot, steamy, muggy night on the carpet here in Kansas City. It's raining, but the wind's blowing out to right. And we are set and ready to go. How you doing, B. Scott? And Ron LaFleur will ground this one to Concepcion over to Lee May 2 at first, and that's how this one starts to get out. Brings up Tony Bernazard at 238, 2 homers and 15 RBI. Tomorrow, the noontime game will feature, I don't know what, if MLB was mad at NBC or if there must have been a game drained out, because my 2 choices were San Francisco and the Cubs or Oakland and Milwaukee, because we do a day game for a Saturday game most weeks, and so you're getting San Francisco and the Cubs. It's kind of like, reaching in the freezer and thinking you got something good in there, and you find your wife's tofu roll instead, and you've already got it unwrapped and the microwave door open. Not that I've ever done that or anything. Pitch from Frost to Bernazard, ball 4. So Tony's on with 1 out, and that'll bring up Steve Kemp. Kemp at 271, 6 homers and 22 RBI. Let's show you the standings. This does have the California defeated Detroit already in there. So the White Sox are 3 games back, 5 and 5 in their last 10. And of course they won last night's game. They've scored as many runs as the Angels, and they've played, by my math, 3 less games. Kansas City at 26 and 21. Oakland somehow is only 5 games back. And Milwaukee is 3.5 back. I might actually switch to that, because that would be a better ball game. Well, in the National League, you can see those are all results as of Tuesday night. The Cubs are red hot, 29 and 21, and San Francisco is not. So, I don't know. We'll probably do Chicago and San Francisco because, as I said, the Cubs have won 9 of 10. So 1 out for Kemp, 271, 6 homers, 22 RBI. Pitch from Frost. There goes Bernazard. That's going to get down in the left center field. The hit and run was on, and Tony's going to take third. So 1 on, or 2 on and 1 out. And the White Sox are in business to start the game. And here's Wyszynski at 309, 5 homers and 30 RBI. Starting into 7 double plays, and the Royals would take one right now. Frost delivers, and Wyszynski hits this one deep to left, but foul. So the count is 0-2 to the Bull. Frost delivers, struck him out. He swung on and foul tipped it into Watkins' glove, and that's a big out. Frost kind of gives his catcher a nod as he walks around. It is, I said, hot and muggy, 85 degrees in the light rain, and what little wind is blowing, well, it's a hefty wind of 12, and it's blowing out to right. Here's Tom Paciorek. Tom is still at 363, 10 homers, and 33 RBI. He is overachieved in 1982. Ground ball is short. Concepcion, long throw to May. And they got him, and so the side is retired. So Frost works around the two runners, and we go to the bottom of the first. It's the White Sox, nothing. Here come the Royals. And so Steve Trout is 2-3 on the year. This will be start number 10. He would make 19 on the year, on the season. His last start came on the 28th of May. He took a no decision in 6 1/3 innings against Cleveland. 8 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 3 and struck out 3. On the year, 59 innings, 53 hits, 1 home run allowed. He's now walked 26 and struck out 31. The lineup he will face: Willie Wilson will lead it off. John Wathan, the speedy catcher, will bat second. George Brett will hit third. Amos Otis will clean up. Hal McRae, the DH, will hit fifth. Jerry Martin in right will bat sixth. Lee May is at first. Will hit seventh. Batting eighth, Frank White and Onyx Concepcion is your shortstop. Dave Frost threw 17 pitches in his half of the first. Steve Kemp is a 6-2 in left. Ron LaFleur, a 4-8 in center. Harold Baines is a 7-8 in right. We'll tell you what Morrison is in a moment because they're in to play the bunt, which I'm not going to give. Vance Law is a 5 at short. Tony Bernazard is a 6 at second. Tom Paciorek, an average first baseman, a 5. And Mark Hill is a 2 and a 7. Willie at 337 with 3 RBI. And 100 at-bats. That's not great production, but he has scored 16 times. And Trout hits a ground ball to the middle, Law over to Paciorek, and that's how this one starts for the Royals. Morrison, by the way, is a third. And no, we're not bunting John Wathan either. Wathan at 235 with a homer and 10 RBI, but has 13 stolen bases. He had 36 on the real year. Pitch from Trout up the middle, and that's going to drop in front of LaFleur and a hop. And so there's a run around and 1 out for George Brett. Brett, 266, 4 homers and 23 RBI. And Wathan is going to go here. 81% chance, and Mark Hill throws down. The Law is not in time. So Wathan's got the steal, and the Royals have a runner in scoring position for Brett. Decent crowd here in Kansas City despite the weather. Pitch from Trout, fly ball to right. Back goes Baines to the track. He makes the catch. Wathan will tag easily and go to third. The throw in, they actually threw, and it was safe. Morrison got a tag in there. I don't think Wathan was going full speed. Baines took the gamble. And there's 2 out. Runner on third for Amos Otis. There's a 263. 6 homers and 36 RBI. Trout's ready. Ball 4. And so runners on the corners and 2 out for Hal McRae, who's at 298. 6 homers and 25 RBI. Hit 27 on the year, which in this ballpark is a ton. And drove in 133. That's a metric ton. Pitch from Trout. There's a ground ball, base hit up the middle. Wathan will score. Bernazard should have had it. Runner goes to third in Otis, and it's 1-0 Kansas City. Brings up Jerry Martin. 295, 3 homers, 18 RBI. So runners in the corners, 2 out. First inning, 1-0 Royals. Pitch from Trout, fly ball to left. Kemp in the corner, he makes the catch. So both pitchers dance around minefields. Kansas City gets a run on 2 hits and no errors. We've played 1. It's the Royals nothing, the White Sox nothing. Harold Baines is not having a Hall of Fame year. 197, 6 homers, and 24 RBI. Frost's pitch, ground ball to Onyx Concepcion over the main 1 out. You saw the Rangers record when I showed the standings. 13-30 for their first 43 games. I know our buddy Combat Painter is doing the 1979 Met replay on his channel using payoff pitch baseball. And if you're not watching that, you should. And as bad as the Mets were in 1979, can you imagine being trying to do a replay of a team that wins 30% of their games? I mean, the Rangers are on the pace to lose 120. They're pulling a 62 Mets here. So, stay strong, Combat Painter. We're thinking of you. Mark Hill is at 250 with a homer and 3 RBI. Pitch from Frost. Ground ball to White over to May, and that's an out. 2 out. Brings up Jim Morrison at 266. 9 homers. He's already achieved his real season numbers and 26 RBI. But he's done for the year in 12 days, or at least with the team. The White Sox got their value out of him. 2 out, nobody on. Top of the second, Morrison, fly ball to left. Wilson in the corner makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Played an inning and a half here, Kansas City. It's the Royals 1, the White Sox nothing. And that'll bring up Lee May, who's at 348, a homer and 11 RBI. That's ready. Pitch to May. Ground ball to Bernazard over to Pachorik, and they make the play. 2 out, or 1 out. Here's Frank White. Frank at 256, 2 homers and 22 RBI. Trout's pitch. Ground ball to Pachorik. Wimpy takes it to the bag himself, and there's 2 out. They'll bring up Onyx. Concepcion. How you doing, Dave Gardner? Concepcion at 235, no homers and 3 RBI. Filling in for UL Washington. Mr. Gardner made a big purchase today. We'll let him tell you about it. Concepcion, ground ball up the middle. What a stop by Vance Law in the dirt in second base. Over to Pachorik to retire Concepcion, and that actually will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We've played 2. It's the Royals 1, the White Sox nothing. And so it'll be Vance Law, and then the top of the lineup, LaFleur and Bernazard for the White Sox here in the third. Vance at 269 and 3 RBI. Jason Parker. You'll see Rhino tomorrow at noon right here at Retro Sports Network. Just got here and was looking for Ryan Sandberg on the roster and realized it was the White Sox and not the Cubs. That's the reason why we don't play these games first thing in the morning, because I would probably make the same mistake. Glad to have you along, buddy. I told you Law's numbers. Frost is ready. And here's the pitch. Ground ball, left side, base hit. So George Brett was kind of late on that. And Law reaches. So there's nobody out for LaFleur, who's 0 for 1. Frost to the first 9 hitters at 33 pitches. 2 innings, 2 hits, a walk and a strikeout. Oh, I hope you feel better, buddy. That's never good. Headaches are never good. Pitch to LaFleur, and that's a base hit left side through the hole. He's going for 2, and he's got it. Willie Wilson got a late jump on that, and LaFleur still has pretty good wheels. And so he slides into second with a double, and with nobody out, there's 2 on for Tony Bernazard. No problem. So Kansas City is thinking that Tony's going to drop one down here. He walked his first time up. So May and Brett come in. 2 on, nobody out. 1-0 Royals. Top of the third. Frost's pitch. Bernazard swings and puts that one all the way to the wall and right. Law and LaFleur score. Bernazard's going for 3, and he's got it easy. They swung at that. Put it in the gap. Jerry Martin's got good range and speed out there, but Bernazard just kept the Jets burning, and it's 2-1 Chicago. Ryan who? That's what Tony's saying. Here's Steve Kemp. He singled his first time up. 2-1 Chicago. And nobody out. Dave Frost coming a bit undone. Ground ball to White. They take the sure out at first in Kemp, and it's 3-1 Chicago. So the White Sox get put 3 on the board here, and nobody out, or nobody on, 1 out for Greg Luzinski, who struck out. Frost delivers ball 4. So Luzinski draws a full count pitch upstairs, and that's the second walk for Frost. And if Clinton Parks was here, he would say this is a batting practice pitcher. Now Paciorek is 0 for 1, runner on first, but Luzinski doesn't have much speed. A ground ball with this defense probably means 2. Pitch from Frost. There's a ground ball to Concepcion. White for 1. Over to May. And how about that? Andy Clara coming in with a call there. That retires the side. Not before the White Sox get 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors. 2.5 in the books. It's 3-1 Chicago. The White Sox, that is. So Steve Trout, looking for his 3rd win of the year, has faced 9 batters on 36 pitches, 2 innings, 2 hits, a run it was earned, and just has a walk. And Paciorek and Morrison play for the bunt. Pitch from Trout, and that's a base hit up the middle, past Bernazard. And the Royals are in business here with Wathan at the plate. John singled, stole the bases, 14th, and scored in the first. Pitch to Wathan. There's a line drive to Law, and thankfully we didn't do a hit and run because that would have doubled up Willie. Here's George Brett. He's 0 for 1. Pitch to George. There's a line drive to right. Baines has it, and Wilson can't get past first base. Brings up Amos Otis, who was the lone walk for Trout in the first. There goes Willie. The throw down to Bernazard, not in time, so Willie gets his 8th steal of the year. So runner in scoring position, 2 out for the Royals here in the bottom of the 3rd. They trail 3-1. Amos Otis walked his first time up. I already told you that. Pitch from Trout. Up the middle, base hit. Wilson will score. Otis holds at first, and it's 3-2. So the Royals generate a run on the stolen base, and they'll bring up Hal McRae, who singled home John Wathan in the first. Now it's 26 RBI. Pitch from Trout. There's a little nubber down to Paciorek. He flips it to Steve, and that will retire the side. But the Royals park another run on the board, a run on 2 hits and no errors. After 3, it's the Chi Sox 3, the Royals 2. And it'll be Baines, Hill, and Morrison to face Frosty here in the 4th. And the Royals would like him to be a touch more frosty on the mound. Pitch to Baines. There's a base hit in the right center field. He'll round first and hold. No, he's going for 2. The throw in there is in time. Oh, baby. Amos Otis picked it up, and Baines hesitated just long enough for Otis to line a biggie to White, and Frank got the tag down there. And so Chicago got a bit greedy. It's a single, and then on the out, trying to stretch it into a double, scored 8-5. So a big out there. And I'll bring up Mark Hill, who's 0 for 1. Mark took his baseball card picture that year very seriously. Look into my eyes, and you get lost in the briny deep of Jacques Cousteau. Pitch to Hill is a ground ball to White. By the bag at second, over to May. That's an out. Randy Luxembourg is here. How you doing, my friend? He met Ron LaFleur at a Rays Fest a couple of years ago. Has diabetes and lost both of his legs. I did know that. That's too bad because, man, he had a set of wheels. You got to be careful. I've been a diagnosed diabetic for 17 years now. Actually waiting actually for my A1C result to come in. Just had my blood done the other day. There was a TV movie, late 70s, about LaFleur. I'll talk about that the next time he's up. So here's Jim Morrison. Morrison is 0 for 1. 2 out, top of the 4th, 3-2 Chicago. Pitch from Frost is a fly ball to left center. Back goes Otis for the out. So that base running blunder was big for Kansas City. No runs, a hit, no errors. After 3.5, it's Chicago 3, Kansas City 2. So Jerry Martin, Lee May, and Frank White. LeVar Burton, yep, exactly. So Jerry Martin is 0 for 1. Pitch from Trout, there's a fly ball to left. Back goes Kemp in the corner, and he makes the catch for the out. So 1 out for Lee May, who's 0 for 1. Trout delivers ball 4. So May watched a full count pitch up and in, and there's a runner on first for Frank White. He's 0 for 1. Second walk for Trout. He hasn't struck out anybody. May's not going anywhere. Now he is. White lines out one to right. Baines will throw it in, and the Royals have runners in the corners and 1 out. Tying run is on third, and White is the go-ahead runner first for Onyx Concepcion, who is 0 for 1. How you doing, Robbie? Was this Willie? He was arrested in '83. So yeah, it'll be his last full season. And so with 1 out, Concepcion's going to lay down a sack. This isn't a sacrifice. It's not a squeeze. It's a sack bunt. Bunt is downhill. Will hold May at third. The throw to the first. Bernazard is there, and there's the out. So the sacrifice works. So White is in scoring position. Willie Wilson is 1 for 2. He has stolen a single, stolen a base, and scored. So through 18 batters, Trout at 3 2/3 innings, 62 pitches. That's neat and tidy. 5, well, the innings aren't, but the pitches are. 5 hits, 2 runs so far, both earned, and he's walked 2. And a hit here should put the Royals back up in front. 2 out. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to Law. Long throw to Pachorik. And Wilson flying down the line is out. Bang, bang play goes to the White Sox. No runs, a hit, no errors for the Royals. After 4, it's the White Sox 3, Kansas City 2. I thought Jester was done, unless you were watching it on tape. ID Jester, by the way, is doing a 1 and done with the 2017 season. No spoilers, Robbie. Using National Pastime Next Generation cards. Nice and a magnificent game between the Rangers and the Mariners late last night, I think it was, or Monday night. And then today played, I was watching some of that between, I thought it was Miami and the Dodgers. Forgot that the Angels are actually now the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. So go check that out when you get the chance. Vance Law singled his first time up and scored. He's 1 for 1. How you doing, Dave Little? Oh, okay. So we did finish it. Pitch to Law. There's a ground ball to White over the thing. There's 1 out. So Frost, if he can get through 5, Kansas City would take that and run no matter the score. Ron LaFleur is up. So 66 pitches for Frost. 18 batters, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. No homers. He's walked 2 and struck out 1. LaFleur was in jail for something as a teenager. Don't know if it was drugs or petty theft or whatever. And they did a TV movie on his life. And as D. Scott Howard said, LeVar Burton played Ron LaFleur. How Geordie LaForge stole all those bases with that visor, I'll never know. But it was a good, heartwarming movie, and the manager for the Tigers in that movie was his real-life manager at the time, Billy Martin. He actually did a decent job, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. Pitch to LaFleur is a base hit into left center field. So LaFleur reaches, and that'll bring up the unstoppable Tony Bernazard. He's 1 for 1. He's got a triple and a walk. He has driven in 2 and scored once. Good old Billy Martin. And as Robbie says, a team one. We like that. Dave Little is in my sixth state neck of the woods in Farmington, Connecticut. What brings you to New England, Dave? Cardiac baseball in Los Angeles. Okay. How you doing, Al? Good to have you on. Go to first. LaFleur is back. Ron's got 12 steals on the season. Pitch to Bernazard is a fly ball to right. Martin goes, but looks and watches it go. Bernazard put that into the wind, and it's now 5-2 Chicago. Didn't think that was coming. Tony Bernazard's got a double, a triple, and a homer. I mean, that ball was absolutely smashed, and Martin never turned. And indeed, that was a moonshot. Work trip, airplane, rental car, hotel, and high colonic. Dave, you're not supposed to share that sort of thing on the internet. Yep, Jason, that was a moonshot. So that's the third of the year for Bernazard, and now Frost kind of stands on the mound as Kemp digs in. Pitch to Steve is 1 for 2. Right back to Frost, over to May for the out. 2 out for Greg Luzinski, who's walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. Pitch to the bull right up the middle, and that's a base hit. So Dick Hauser's got to think about when to pull Frost. It's a question of when, not if. Tom Pachork is 0 for 2. Whippy's got it into a double play. The pitch, it hit him. Not what you want. That hit him, and there's 2 on and 2 out, and they're going to talk about it. And they're going to let Frost pitch to the slumping Baines, who's 1 for 2. Frost delivers, ground ball to White, has to hurry over to May, and that retires the side. But not before Tony Bernazard puts 2 on the board with a mammoth homer to the bullpen. And right field, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. Halfway home at Chicago 5, Kansas City 2. And as John Watkins steps to the plate, this gives me a chance to tell you that tomorrow afternoon at the time of 5:15-ish, Pachork 3:58. My friend Andrew Martin joins me on the Ron Chuckett Show. We'll talk about Andrew's new book. That's tomorrow at 5:15 right here on Retro Sports Network. So we'll go through the dinner hour with you tomorrow. All right, hit the button to go back to the game. Yep, Pachork's hitting 358. He's having a monster year. It'll be Wathan Brett Notice as Steve Trapp navigates the 5th here. Wathan 1 for 2. He has single, scored, and stolen a base. And there's a ground ball to Law over to Pachork for the out. 1 out. Yeah. Andrew has been my buddy for a long, long time. I mean, a lot of you guys are my buddies anyway, but actually no one used to work with Andrew. And so I'm really excited to have him on the Ron Chuckett Show tomorrow. George Brett's 0 for 2. George Brett will not be on the Ron Chuckett Show tomorrow. Pitch from Trout. There's a fly ball to center. Back goes LaFleur to the track, and he makes the catch for the out. Here's Amos Otis. He's 1 for 1. He walked, singled, and drove in one of the 2 Kansas City runs. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Jason. Still raining here in Independence, Missouri. 81 degrees. Winds blowing left to right at 18. And we're almost at the point where this is an official game, and that would be kind of crazy if both of our Wednesday games, on the calendar anyway, not when they're actually simulated, would get rained out early. Pitch to Otis. And there's a base hit in the right center. Will he go for two? No, he'll hold. LaFleur threw it back in, and there's two out and a runner on for Hal McRae. Hal is 1 for 2. Has singled and driven him with... No, I did not work with him at Fansided. Singled and driven in a run. I worked with him back at Bleacher Report. But more importantly, we've been friends for a good 12 years or so. Pitch to Hal. There's a line drive foul. Third base side. And then the bump moved to California. Looking forward to it. Pitch to McRae. There's a base hit left side to the hole. Otis is on his way to third. McRae is on first. The runner's on the corners, and Jerry Martin is a tying run. He's 0 for 2. Has a 2% chance of hitting a home run right here. That's what the computer tells me. He also has a 25.5% chance of striking out. Trout has not done that yet tonight. Here's the pitch to Martin. There's a base hit down the line and right. That's off the wall. Otis will score. McRae will hold on the double. How you doing, Bobby Catalano? And it's 5-3, Chicago. So the tying run is in scoring position for Lee May, who grounded to second and walked. So 2 on, 2 out. 5-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch to May. There's a ground ball to Bernazard over to Pachorik, and that ends the inning. It's a light rain. You never know what the chances are, Robbie, of what's going to do. I was surprised that the game was called actually yesterday. So after 5, a run on 3 hits and no errors. We got ourselves a good one here at Chicago 5, Kansas City 3. And so Frosty will at least pitch to Mark Hill. Mark is 0 for 2. Baseball Demos is officially War from the Head. He's one of the few that actually liked watching baseball on AstroTurf. And was seen buying bottles of new Coke. Pitch to Hill. Fly ball to left. Back goes Wilson, and he makes the catch for the first out. While I do not partake in the same activity, I agree with Dick Allen. If you can't smoke it, I don't want to play on it. But Jim Morrison, speaking of bad 70s puns, he's 0 for 2. Indoors you couldn't do much about it. Pitch to Morrison, ball 4, and they'll do it for Frost. So Morrison draws the 1-out walk, and as Vance Law steps to the plate, I got a bullpen here that's as ugly as Phyllis Diller without her wig. Grant Jackson's the one that blew last night's game. Dick Hauser stares down his bench and sees absolutely no good options. Not a one. My goodness, what do I do here? Well, Mike Armstrong, who threw 49 pitches last night, comes back in. Oh yeah. Look at these numbers, boys and girls. He's 0-2 with an ERA of 11.37 in 12 2/3 innings. He's allowed 10 hits. This is his 6th appearance out of the pen. He's allowed 4 home runs. Last night, he went 3 1/3 in the extra inning loss to Chicago. He did not take the loss. Went 3 1/3, allowed a hit, 2 runs, both ends, walked 1, and struck out 5. And he better be rubber armed because he's going to go for a while tonight. Too early for Quisenberry. So if he can give Dick Hauser about 5 outs, I think they would take it. Vance is 1 for 2. He singled and scored. Morrison on first. Ground ball to May. Throws to Concepcion for 1. Back over to Lee. And they do it. They turn it. How about that? 5 pitches, 2 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 5.5. It's the White Sox 5, the Royals 3. No. Chase Field in Arizona is putting down the turf. No, Seattle's is grass, yeah. Milwaukee, Seattle, Phoenix, Houston, Miami. Did I say Toronto? All have retractable roofs. Seattle has grass, and they've ripped up the grass in Arizona. I missed if Baseball Demos gave a reason why he liked AstroTurf baseball. I missed it. So say that again as Frank White steps to the plate. Frank is 1 for 2. It's been a good game so far. 5-3 Chicago. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Chi Sox. They've stranded 4. 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Royals. And they have stranded 7. Nothing wrong with a retractable roof unless you live in Miami, and that's just the boondoggle of 9/10. Pitch to White. There's a base hit into right field. A line shot that gets in front of Baines. And it's a leadoff runner is on. The tying run is on for Concepcion. Is 0 for 1. Yeah, I think I did say Miami. Tampa's is not retractable. I like the look of the sliding pits and seeing the rabbits run out that they had in Kansas City and St. Louis. Well, that was Whitey Herzog ball. Concepcion had a sac bunt his last time up. That was Whitey, and you actually, if you think about it, having the turf probably hurt them because you could at least, if on a home team on the grass, you could just have the grass grow really thick, which would be great for deadening for bunts and stuff like that. Pitch to Concepcion is a line drive to center. LaFleur is there. And that's an out. Now we'll do it for Steve Trout. He's coming out. We got ourselves a pitching change. From Royal Stadium in Independence, Missouri. This is primetime Major League Baseball. So Kevin Hickey, 1-1 on the field, you say. And a 2.87 ERA. Pitcher for the Orioles for a long time. And a pitching coach. Last pitched on Sunday against the Indians. Went 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs. Both earned, blocked 2 and struck out 1, and took his first loss of the year. He's not allowed a home run. He has walked 15 and struck out 5. Yep, I remember that too, D. Scott. And don't forget, Montreal had that abomination that was supposed to be retractable roof, and it only worked like 3 times. He says, I remember the opening ceremonies in Toronto. The roof got stuck halfway up, open in the pouring rain, and people got wet. So running around at first is White. Wilson is 1 for 3. Stolen a base, singled, and scored. Pitch from Hickey is a bounder up the middle. Bernazard takes it to the bag himself. Over to Pachorik. Do they turn it? No. Wilson beat it out. So Bernazard fielder's choice there for you. Now bring up the red-hot John Watson, who's 1 for 3. Singled, scored, and stole a base. The Astrodome had a grass field, as Al said. Originally with clear roofs so the sun would shine in and they could grow grass, but if you looked up for a fly ball, you couldn't see it. Thus, they painted the roof and the grass died. And then you get AstroTurf because of the Astrodome. And it's funny because now you have those translucent facilities in Minneapolis and Atlanta, Minneapolis at least, and Indianapolis for the Colts, and it's still turf. Pitch to Watson is a base hit into left center. Kemp gets it on a hop. Wilson goes for third. He's in there easily, and so runners in the corners, 2 outs here in the 6th for George Brett. And yep, Randy Luxembourg said Ricky Mantle hit the first home run in the Astrodome. The Yankees played a 2-game exhibition series there against Houston. And the Mets must have played there early too, because Lindsey Nelson, who was the announcer for the Mets at the time, called the game from the gondola above the field. And I certainly hope that Lindsey was not afraid of heights. And now we got the rain delay. So tonight you get the rain delay. And so, oh boy. And so I hope you enjoyed that hour delay. We got in some Three Stooges. The Three Stooges meets Phyllis Diller. And the Three Stooges do their taxes. That was pretty funny when Curly hit the accountant with that rubber mallet. So Kevin Hickey's night is done, I would think. No, he stays in the game, and Brett slaps this one all the way to the wall in right center. Wilson will score. Here comes Watson, and he'll score without a throw. We're tied at 5. And Jerry Kuzmin comes in to pitch. I didn't realize that Kuzmin relieved. Yep. This is his 10th relief appearance. He is 2-2 on the year with a 4.45 ERA, 32 1/3 innings, 38 hits, a home run allowed. His last relief appearance was a 2-inning stint against these Royals last week in Chicago. Two hits, a run, it was earned, and a walk. So he has walked 12 and struck out 15. So a tie ball game, and Brett on second. Order set the play. Amos is 2 for 2. He's hit the twice, scored, and run. No ship. Randy says they used orange baseballs in the exhibition game. Well, yeah, that's what happened with it. They didn't cover the outfield. They didn't drive very much. No shim. No. So, for those of you looking for the wrestling on Sports Time Machine channel, we'll start at 8. We're obviously going to run past 8 o'clock. Hopefully not too long. Pitch to Otis is a ground ball to short. Law over to Pachorik for the out. And that will retire the side. And now you got to use Quisenberry. Because of the hour rain delay. 79 degrees, the rain has stopped. It usually does not rain again. So Quisenberry making his 25th appearance on the year. He's 2-6 on the season with 13 saves and a 2.70 ERA. I'm going to laugh out of this on the chat. He pitched Monday night, Memorial Day, against the White Sox, one inning, allowed a hit. He's allowed 4 home runs. He has walked 8 and struck out 24. And he got a save on Monday. So this is his game now. He can throw 50 pitches. He can give you 9 outs. Ron LaFleur, 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, and scored twice. Here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to Concepcion. A long throw to May by the bag at second it came from, and it's an out. And here's Tony Bernazard. He has the hard part of the cycle done. He's got the triple and the homer. 2 for 2. He's also walked once. He's driven in 4. Quisenberry deals, and there's a base hit. So now, if the White Sox bat again, he is a double away from the cycle. That's a 9th hit for the Chi Sox. Kansas City has 11. Throw to first, Bernazard is back. And that brings up Steve Kemp. 1 for 3, single and RBI. You guys talk about the Stooges. Kemp, ground ball to Concepcion. The right for one. Over to May. Got him. Double play. No runs, one hit, no errors. We go to the stretch time here, even though you've been stretching for the last hour. Chicago 5, Kansas City 5. Someone looked at the picture and looked like it was a delivery. Remember, they didn't. They just covered the infield. The outfield had to drain on its own. And this stuff was carpet over concrete. There was no way for it to really drain. Not like the field turf of today. And so, yeah, it needed to sit in the sun and dry out. Imagine how that field in Philadelphia smelled. Ugh. So McRae, Martin, and May. Pitch from Kuzman. McRae's 2 for 3. Ground ball to Pachork. Takes it himself, 1 out. I would upload them both at the same time. Has anyone been to A's Oracle Arena? Yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, because the Raiders destroyed it when they moved back, the plumbing is bad. There's been times in the last 2 years that clogged toilets have flooded into the visitors' locker room. Hey, Jerry Martin 1 for 3. Doubled and driven in a run. There's a ground ball to Law. Law throw to Pachork. Martin's got wheels, and he's gonna he's out. Yeah, that would definitely be a problem. As they're telling, if you're watching in the chat, if you're watching on the full screen, go to the chat. Talking about the Three Stooges. Here's Lee May. He's 0 for 2 with the walk. 2 out, bottom of the 7th, 5-5 the score. On a hot, sticky night in Kansas City. Wind is blowing out to left center. Lee May takes a walk. Yeah, the foul territory at Oakland's ridiculous. It was always much bigger than the other multi-purpose stadiums. Frank White is 2 for 3, so May on first. White is singled twice. Concepcion on deck. Here's the pitch from Kuzman. There's a base hit in the right center field. May will hold at second. And so runners on first and second. 2 out for Onyx Concepcion, who is 0 for 2 with the sacrifice bunt. Gosh, I'm shocked, Al, that your favorite would be a boxing short. Shocked. The very fiber of my being. Pitch to Concepcion's a base hit left side through the hole. May will round third. He's going to try to score in the rubber arm Kemp. Everyone else holds. The throw to Hill is in time. Kemp threw him out. And we're done with the 7th inning. We go to the 8th. It's Kansas City 5, Chicago 5. Here it is again. You have an 80% chance to score, and you got to do it. And Kemp has no arm. But he threw a pork-flavored ramen noodle to the plate, and Mark Hill got the tag in. So we go to the 8th, 5-5. Yeah, he should have made it. And this one's been one of the better ones we've had in a while. So it'll be Greg Luzinski, Tom Pachork, and Harold Baines here in the 8th to face Quisenberry. Luzinski's 1 for 2. He singled, walked, and struck out. Quisenberry thought he had the win. Ground ball, base hit, right side. And now he's got to work for it. And here's Whippy. He's 0 for 2. If you're looking around on YouTube, I'm kind of late for the pinch runner. How you doing, ID? I forgot what I was going to say. So there's nobody out. Running on first is Luzinski, and Pachork at the plate. Whippy's 0 for 2. He's grounded into a double play. There's a fly ball to left. Wilson's got it. Luzinski retreats back to first. May had an 80% chance of scoring there. I don't feel bad sending him. It's just one with a bad arm. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Like I said, Quisenberry thought he was gonna sit on the win. Here's Baines. He's 1 for 3. He is single. It's not raining, so we'll finish this one up. There's the pitch to Baines. There's a fly ball to right center. Back goes Otis. He'll turn and watch it go. Harold Baines hits a bomb out of here. Blowing into the wind, too. 15 miles an hour to left center. And let's watch that one again. 7-5 White Sox on that monster shot into the waterfall for Harold Baines. Not like everyone else is above the waterfall. 425 feet. Oh, did Al do a... Yeah, buddy, did you do a fight? Mark Hill is 0 for 3. 7-5. Top of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch from Quisenberry. There's a liner to Concepcion for the out. So 2 out. It'll be Wilson, Watson, and Brett in the bottom of the 8th. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Jim Morrison is 0 for 2 with a walk. Pitch to Quisenberry. Fly ball to right. Martin. And that ball's gone. And so Quisenberry is just leaving them up in the strike zone, and kaboom city. That's the 10th for Morrison. Oh, okay. So let's watch the Morrison home run. It's 8-5 now. Quisenberry's getting rocked. And that ball was just hammered. So that's the 10th for Morrison. Yeah, I signed up. I'm your ace pitcher ID. ID and Tabletop Earl had a great chat last night. Vance Law's 1 for 3. Vance has singled and scored and grounded into a double play. Doors are rejoicing. Pitch from Quisenberry. There's a fly ball to right. Martin will keep that one in the yard for the out. Aurelio Rodriguez comes into play for Jim Morrison. As in all things, he rode off into the storm. So we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Jerry Kuzman is now sitting on a 3-run lead, 8-5. And here's Willie Wilson, 1 for 4. He has scored twice, singled, and stolen a base. Pitch to Wilson, struck him out. He got him to swing and a miss on a 1-2 pitch. 1 out. Well, Watson is 2 for 4. Scored twice and stole his 14th. To get back to the Three Stooges thing, if you look around on YouTube, Mo Howard guested a week on the Mike Douglas show. And parts of that were saved and are there. And so it's an older Mo looking quite good. And definitely worth your while to go find it. Pitch to Watson is a ground ball up the middle. Law over to Pechoric. 2 out. Also, here's one I bet you didn't know. Tom Bergeron. For those of us in New England, he was on WBZ radio and television in the 80s. But he went to Hollywood and became famous, so screw him. As a kid in the 70s, as a teenager, he went and tracked down Larry Fine at the Motion Picture Home and called him long distance and recorded it. And so there's a 90-minute show on YouTube somewhere that has 14-year-old Tom Bergeron's conversations, and there are multiple conversations, with Larry Fine. Yep, still the same style of hair, baseball. It was great. I mean, they're great. And there's, thanks ID, and there's one clip where Mo brushes the hair forward, and he looks like Mo. Brett's 1 for 4. He's driven in 2. Ground ball to Law over to Pechoric for the out. And so we go to the ninth, nothing to cross. Quisenberry is going out for his third inning. Here comes Ron LaFleur. Ron is 2 for 4. He has scored twice and doubled. And singled once. And if you look ahead to the Kansas City ninth, it's Otis, McRae, and Martin and Lee May on deck. Pitch from Quisenberry. Ground ball to Brett. Over to May for the out. How you doing, Dale? Haven't seen you in a while. Go Bryce Harper. Too bad Seth's not here. You two could get in the fight. Tony Bernazard has had himself a day. In fact, if he doubles here, he's got the cycle. He's singled, tripled, and homered. Has driven in 4 and scored twice. And just been a general pain in the tushy. I'd say Shep was underrated. Quisenberry delivers. Struck him out. No cycle for you. A 1-2 pitch inside on the black. And there's 2 out for Steve Kemp. So it looks like the White Sox will keep pace with the Angels. This was played the same day as yesterday afternoon's game. And tomorrow's game at noontime, San Francisco and Chicago from Wrigley Field at noon. And then note the time, 5:15 for the Ron Juckett Show with Andrew Martin. Now at published author. 1 for 4 is Kemp. He's got an RBI. And he hits a liner right to Brett, and we go to the bottom of the ninth. So Gary Koosman coming in relief and get the win here. He's thrown 30 pitches. Amos Otis is 2 for 3. McRae on deck. 8-5 Chicago. 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors. The White Sox have only stranded 4. 5 runs, 13 hits, no errors. The Royals have stranded 10. They've had chance after chance after chance. Pitch to Otis is a ground ball to Long. Long throw to Pachorik for the out. Rodriguez, by the way, came into play third. He's a 9 there, so good defensive move for the White Sox. Al McRae is 2 for 4. He singled twice and driven on. Pitch from Koosman. There's a base hit right side. So the Royals have a runner on to Jerry Martin, who is 1 for 4. He's got an RBI double. 14th hit for the Royals. Lee May on deck. 8-5 Kansas City. 1 out, bottom of the ninth. It's from Koosman. Here's a ground ball right past Bernazard. And McRae will hold right there. And that'll do it for Koosman. Salome Barojas, the closer, is coming in for the White Sox. We got ourselves a pitching change. This game is coming to you from Royal Stadium in Independence, Missouri. So Barojas is the White Sox closer. He is 8-2, however, on the year, with 4 saves, an ERA of 1.29. This is his 19th relief appearance. He last pitched last night. Through 3 1/3 innings, he got the win. Allowed 3 hits, walked 2, and struck out 1. He's given up 3 home runs. Walked 12 and struck out 12. So the tying run is at the plate for May. And May hits righty to a 219 pitch. Yeah, in fact, it had AstroTurf till about 93, 94. So the tying run is up in May. White on deck, 1 out. Martin on first, McRae on second. Baseball demos, I watched that one not too long ago. That was pretty good. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. And so Barojas has the second out there. A 1-2 change. Strike 3 called. And here's Frank White. He has singled 3 times. So 2 on, 2 out. 8-5 Chicago. Everyone kind of hoping for a miracle here. Pitch from Barojas. Up the middle, a base hit. McRae will round third. They will not challenge the arm of Ron LaFleur. And so you wonder if Onyx Concepcion is going to hit. Who can hit a righty? Why, Willie Aikens can hit a righty. The bases are loaded. Aikens is now the winning run. He's at 288 on the year. 5 homers and 21 RBI. You look at the stats up above Barojas there in that box. He now has a 349 average in this at bat, and a 4.1% chance of sending everyone in Kansas City home happy. And so they're loaded, 2 out. Barojas will work from the window. It doesn't matter now. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, slow nubber to Pachorik. Over to Barojas, and the White Sox survive. No runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And the White Sox have beaten the Royals 8-5. And so let's go through this quickly. A good game. Kansas City got out in front 1-0 on a Hal McRae single in the first. Then the White Sox went up 3-1. Tony Bernazar doubled home or tripled home 2 in the top of the third. Then Steve Kemp hit a grounder in the bottom, and the same thing to make it 3-1 Chicago. Then Kansas City fought back. Amos Otis with a RBI single to score Willie Wilson to make it 3-2. And then Tony Bernazar with a 2-run shot in the 5th made it 5-2. Then back came the Royals. Jerry Martin doubled home Amos Otis to make it 5-3. George Brett doubled to score 2 to make it 5-5. And then back-to-back homers. In the 8th, scored 3. Harold Baines with a moonshot in the right center. A 2-run job, he made it 7-5. And then Jim Morrison made it 8-5 on a bomb, too. So 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors for the White Sox. 5 runs, 16 hits, no errors for the Royals. Jerry Koosman gets the win. He goes to 3-2. And Dan Quisenberry gives up 3 runs in 3 innings and falls to 2-7 on the year. And so really quick, let's play the rest of the day out to get you up to date. Cubs beat the Padres 7-3. Baltimore beat Texas 11-4. Yankees beat Toronto 7-3. Minnesota 7-4 over Cleveland. Los Angeles beat Pittsburgh 20-0. Houston downs Montreal 8-4. Philadelphia over Cincinnati 3-2. Atlanta downs the Mets 8-7. San Francisco shuts out St. Louis 2-0. Milwaukee beat Seattle 8-4, and the Red Sox lose 1 to the A's 5-3. So tomorrow it is the Giants and the Cubs from Wrigley. We'll do that at noon, and then the Ron Juckett Show with Andrew Martin at 5:15. Hey, thank you so much for watching Wrestling on Sports Time Machines. Stream soon. We'll talk to you tomorrow at noon time. Take care, guys, and thanks that bunch. Thanks a bunch. Helps if I hit the shelf.